what's in store for you? You're going to try to get back in the NBA? You're looking overseas, Italian League, China? Where are you looking at?
Definitely looking at playing again next season for sure. Not the NBA, definitely going overseas. But still working and training every day, working out. Business, real estate, been doing real estate stuff, got my clothing line.
Good.
And doing a lot of stuff with my foundation, the Anthony Morrow Foundation out here in Charlotte.
You have any contact information we can get out? What's new? How do you contact your foundation?
TheAnthonyMorrowFoundation.com.
Okay.
Go in there for any updates. Right now, we in the middle of putting a lot more content on there. We're kind of gearing back up. But, it's going well so far. So,
hey, what do you think about the finals are set? Everybody kind of thought at the beginning of the year it was Golden State and Cleveland.
Yeah.
They kind of took different routes to get there. What's your take? Your first before Game 1 tonight. What are you looking for, and maybe who do you think is going to win it all?
I think Golden State's going to win it all. I said that in the beginning of the playoffs. I feel like if Steph and Clay, the way they got hot the last two games of last series, if they continue to take that into the finals, it's going to be nothing, Cleveland can do about that. But
I think that's an interesting point. And I like in particular that you mentioned Clay. Going into Game 7, and I need to go back in my notes and get the exact number, but going into after Game 7, but going into Game 7, when Golden State has been facing elimination since 2015, Clay's averaging almost 28 a game.
Yeah, that's true.
Which tells you when it's money time, Clay shows up. Not that Clay doesn't always show up, but for a guy to be able to raise his game like that, as such a two-way player, much like yourself being a two-way player, not known as just this or that guy.
Yeah.
Clay often defends the best perimeter player on the other side of the floor.
Absolutely.
And he's knocking down shots. When you're able to do that in elimination games, Game 6s, Game 7s, there's a level of respect that I feel, at least for me, that Clay doesn't get from, I'm not going to say from around the league, because you as a player, that's a different concept.
Yeah.
But from viewers and fans, I don't think they realize Clay's versatility and the completeness of his game.
Yeah, that's a fact. Especially Game 6s. We caught some of that 2 years ago. He had 11 threes. He had 41, and that was a closeout game for us. And he just, we had Steph under control pretty much. We had everybody else under control, and Clay just went crazy. So, but for him to have to guard pick and rolls all game with Russ, and then guard KD and guard all these different guys, and like now he had to guard Chris, or he had to guard James.
Yeah,
he got to switch a lot of pick and rolls, a lot of rotations, especially with how Houston plays, and for him to still come in and shoot well. When he doesn't shoot well, they give him a hard time. But I'm like, you got to chase around other teams' best players, not just one player, the best players.
Right.
And then still come down and make 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 threes. And for him to be able to do that in Game 6s, I don't think he gets enough attention for that.
Yeah, the one thing that concerns me, Anthony, Reg, and Kev, is that, if you apply logic, of course, Cavs beat the Warriors in 5 games last year.
Yeah.
That was with Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
So, in other words, there's no Kyrie Irving this year, and everyone is back, in terms of Golden State. Of course, Iguodala's going to be out for Game 1, but still he's your 5th best, start. I think that's kind of safe to say.
Yeah.
So if you apply logic, and I'm a LeBron fan, I'm pulling for Cleveland, but with that type of firepower minus Kyrie Irving, how can you pick Cleveland to beat Golden State?
I mean, it's already a small, very, very small margin of error when you play against that team, especially
barring injuries.
Yeah. I mean, I pray nobody gets hurt, but that's the only way that the playing field will kind of be a little more even. But it's a small margin of error. They got to go out there and defend like every possession like it's the last possession of their lives. Because any lows in concentration, that could turn into a 16-20-0 run. And then it's hard to come back from that against that team. So, especially if they playing defense like they played the last couple of games against Houston.
Right.
Well, there may not be Kyrie Irving per se.
Yeah.
And Kevin Love has got some concussion issues. Has he been cleared yet? Do we know of?
Not that I've seen, but who knows?
Game time decision?
But they do have this one guy. He wears number 23.
Yeah.
His name's LeBron James. And I think he has single-handedly, or for the most part, carried this team all year long because they traded out half the roster at the deadline.
Yeah.
And through the playoffs, these guys, with a few exceptions here and there, he's done it all.
Absolutely.
And it's credit to Reggie Walker, who said, watch out, when they were down He said,
3-2.
watch out for
He did say that.
I said, don't let him get to game 7.
Yeah.
Because he
Yeah,
said
that's
he's
right.
going to have some big number with a lot of rebounds.
Yep.
And that's exactly what happened. So can LeBron James, you played against him, can he do it all again and keep the momentum going?
Absolutely. It's just going to come down. I mean, in my opinion, I know they much rather wanted to see Houston. Because Houston would have been way more burnt out than what Golden State's about to be.
Right.
And that's just a juggernaut over there in Oakland, man. And it's something it's just what he has to deal with in his career, So I think he can. I mean, he's gonna put up huge numbers.
Yeah.
Maybe not. His game ones haven't been as great,
Right.
so this may be a fill-out game for him. But you don't really have time for that. You could do that against Indiana and Boston.
Right.
He's got to explode.
Yeah, you got to go. I think he has to, jump out the gates running full
You got to
speed.
tell everybody, what's it like? You ever guarded him?
Yeah, it's crazy.
He's coming. Here's LeBron James, 270, 6'8", 6'9". He's coming down on you. What do you do?
Try to take a charge, and then that's not fun.
Not many guys are going to take that
yeah,
charge.
it's crazy. I mean, he's fast, athletic, quick, high IQ. He's playing with a lot more confidence than he did his first few years in the league in terms of his jump shot and his post game. So I don't know, man. But not having Kyrie is definitely. As soon as I saw he traded Kyrie, I was like, you're not going to get equal value for him.
No.
I knew Isaiah Thomas was good, but he was in a different system, obviously.
Right.
And you ask him to play a different role in a different system. It's hard for him being 5'8". So it's no filling that void. It's just going to have to be LeBron.
I'm glad you made that point because it's something you and I talked about in the break briefly about the different players on this Cleveland team and the trades they made. Because I think this is something that people forget about, and you know this because you've been on different teams.
Yeah.
And when you get traded in the middle of a season, you think about let's look at certain guys on this roster. George Hill is a pick and roll ball dominant point guard historically in his career. I'm not trying to. For those out there that think I'm trying to call him a Hall of Fame point guard, calm down.
But he has championship experience with the Spurs.
No, but I'm talking about his type of game.
Absolutely.
When you look at a guy like Jeff Green, generally he's a second unit
Best trade we ever
isolation type of player because he's better than most second unit players.
Yeah.
When you look at a Rodney Hood, he's not generally just a stand and catch and shoot guy. When you play with LeBron, and this is not to take anything away from LeBron, but he's such a playmaker and such a ball-dominant player because of that ability. You're asking a lot of guys to become catch-and-shoot guys. So the guys that have played well, generally speaking, your Kyle Korvers and your Kevin Loves, is because that is kind of what their game is. Those other guys are still trying to figure out how to be that.
Yeah, and it's hard to be consistent. Even for a guy like JR that's been in that system and been there, when you're playing with guys that are almost polarizing, it's like you start watching them.
Right.
And in that system, it is going to be the ball's going to be in LeBron's hands the last 10 seconds of the shot clock. So you got to gear yourself up to get ready to catch and shoot. It wasn't as hard for me to do that.
Right.
But I could see how it was hard for a lot of guys that's never had to be in that position.
I remember Dwayne Wade it was a disaster for Dwayne.
They didn't really work. They didn't really work together. Like it wasn't perfect like people think it was. They just smart, high IQ guys that made it work and understood it. The problem is you don't have a D Wade and a Kyrie no more.
Right. And you've seen scouting reports.
Yeah.
I got to think a scouting report on Dwayne Wade says he's not going to shoot the basketball before he dribbles it.
Yeah.
I've never seen Dwayne Wade actually catch the basketball and let it fly without putting it on the deck. I've never seen it.
He doesn't want to do that. But I tell you, Pat Riley, Eric Spoelstra. Eric Spoelstra was a great coach. I don't think he got enough credit.
Yeah.
He used to put Dwayne Wade in a lot of positions where he was coming downhill off handoffs or just any situation
He
was
could
putting
go
pressure
forward.
on the defense.
Correct.
That's something they had to figure out. I think that's a lot of the reason chemistry-wise they didn't win it the first year. Mm-hmm. But you just saw how they got to the final so easily. We knew that they were going to win at least 2 or 3.
Right. Now, another point, because this is something that I get frustrated with. Everybody was all bent out of shape after Morris made the claim before the series with Boston that he could shut LeBron down.
Yeah.
I was a football guy.
Who?
He was
Marcus Morris.
From Kansas.
But here's the thing, man.
Who's he compared to LeBron?
As a defensive back
Him
in
and his brother
football,
couldn't stop LeBron.
I don't care who you line up in front of me. If I'm looking at him and I go, he's getting ready to beat me for 11 catches, 200 yards, I need to get off the field. So the same concept. I get that it's LeBron, but what are we supposed to? What is Marcus Morris supposed to say? Yeah, he gonna give me 50 and 10 tonight? No, you have to think that you're good enough to stop that guy, or you're gonna get embarrassed even more so than what he's gonna do in general. Am I wrong?
You're right. I mean, in my opinion, what makes him and his brother as good as they are is because they do think like that.
Right.
And especially Marcus, He didn't actually say I would shut him down. He said He said I think I'm the best defender.
Yeah, that's what.
in the
That's what he
playoffs
said.
Against LeBron, and I don't have a problem with that. But of course you got to deal with LeBron now.
Right.
Saw how
Bring that on.
But he did play well though. He had a good playoff series, and it is what it is. But I think that mentality moving forward for Boston when they get healthy, it's going to bode well for them in the future. I think they're going to win the championship the next 3 years.
And JT, I know you got the numbers, but the thing that scares me the most about the finals, getting back to this year's finals, the pace and tempo that Golden State wants to play, and LeBron trying to play 46 to 48 minutes a night.
Oh, yeah.
I just wonder, and listen, I'm not questioning that guy he's bionic, clearly, playing all the minutes he's playing.
$6 million man.
But that pace, I'm curious to see how that's going to play for him to play 48 minutes.
Yeah, we got some good numbers for that. I will say this in terms of
get your point in, JT, because Kevin Tolbert's telling us we got to go.
Okay, I will say this. Last year, they're not as efficient in the first quarter, but last year they outscored their opponents in the playoffs about plus 101. So to your point, like when they get out of the gates early, it's hard to recover from that.
Yeah.
We got some good stuff coming up after that.
Yeah, we got also to talk about who's this Demarius Randall guy. He's talking about some kind of deal on Twitter where he's going to promise everybody a game-worn jersey. Do you know any of this?
He's making money, man.
No, he's just trying to get his Twitter followers up.
That's it. He's getting ready to lose some money.
He's playing for the Browns.
Yeah, his Twitter fingers got himself in trouble.
Oh, yeah. He's playing for the Browns. He's going to be losing some money. All right, we got a lot more with Anthony Morrow, Reggie Walker, John Tobias right here on Talking About Sports from the Dilworth Neighborhood Grill. About sports with Reggie Walker, Anthony Morrow from the Charlotte Latin and Georgia Tech, and longtime NBA player providing some very key insights, John Tobias. But you got to tell me, JT, break down this Demarius Randall jabroni. He's a safety for the Cleveland Browns now.
He ain't no jabroni if he's in the league.
Well, if he's in the league, he's a legit player. But I don't think running your mouth about you're going to be. I think he's going to if he actually pays up. He could be losing a lot of money if from what I'm reading, is correct.
Yeah, I don't really know a lot about Demarius Randall. I mean, I do know that he's a safety.
In the league, as Reggie points
plays
out.
for Cleveland, got drafted by Arizona, got drafted by the Packers, played ball at Arizona State. And he's just more or less saying, help me out, Reg, to where if Cleveland wins, to where he would go ahead and buy, like, jerseys if they retweet.
Everyone.
For people that retweeted it. So here's what's going to happen. Let's call a spade a spade. He getting ready to get a backdoor endorsement deal out of this. Some company is going to cut the check or give out the jerseys and get their name out there for this. It's backhanded ingeniousness by him, and he's getting more attention, especially on social media, than he's ever gotten probably in his career.
Could he partner with a charity like our man Jeff Hood over here with the Police Athletic League to hook up some charity, a worthy charity?
He could. You
Jeff,
never know.
Get Jeff in here.
Or if he gets an endorsement deal, he could just donate money to a charity.
If we didn't know who he was back then, like yesterday, we know who he is now.
Back then, they didn't know him.
Yep. All right, Mike.
He's on the radar.
Mike Jones.
Mike Jones. Who?
281-330-8004.
Guarantees
like that? Georgia Tech or any of the teams you played for?
Nah, man. We didn't even really have when I first came in the league in 2008. Twitter was just getting started. So
yeah.
We didn't even know how to use it for
I follow you on Twitter now. Give everybody your handle.
Okay, Mr. Anthony Morrow. All
right, good.
MR Anthony Morrow, no space or nothing.
So that's good. So you wouldn't be promising game-worn jerseys from Steph Curry to anybody to retweet your
unless you're playing for the Warriors and you probably got a high chance of winning the championship or something. You don't want to do that.
And even still, I'm going to just do the math here because I know at one point I looked at the tweet and it had more than 10,000 retweets.
I heard 900,000.
Huh?
I heard 900,000.
That's crazy.
Okay, even more so. I don't think there's enough players in the league and the amount of games this year to give out 900,000 game-worn jerseys. So he had a problem from day one.
Yeah.
As soon as he sent that tweet out, he had a problem.
I don't know, man. There's going to be a lot of sewing machines working overtime somewhere in the world.
Yeah, but now they're not game-worn.
Yeah,
so that's false advertisement.
Yep.
They'll work a deal.
Nobody sue them.
I don't know.
I know.
I think they're going to be. I think there's going to be something's going to give. I think a charity like Reggie Smart. Reggie says he's going to probably work some angle with a manufacturer, a charity,
apparel
company, and get something going. What would you think, JT? You wouldn't do anything like that, would you?
No, I would not.
Your new wife wouldn't let you.
I know, right? I know. Yeah, if the wife's not happy, nobody's happy.
As Barkley would say, I may be wrong, but I doubt it.
I did do something like that with some shoes. It was game-worn shoes, but it was like 4 or 5 pair. I just said I'll give you some shoes if you get this right. it was like four or five people.
Oh, okay.
And it took me like 3 or 4 years to get all them shoes to people. It was crazy. They was hitting me up every other week.
Wow. Was the mail running slow or something, man? You can't ship something out?
I don't know, man.
Well,
I couldn't get around to it.
Well, I mean, that's.
But I could just imagine what he's about to go through, though.
You need a personal assistant, somebody to get the foundation to take care of your business, man. I know you're.
I have one now. Back then, I didn't have one.
A little earlier in the career, right?
Yeah, you're not thinking ahead enough.
Kevin, hey, KT, how long is Anthony going to be with us? He going to be any longer? This is last segment or what?
This.
Okay, I'm just wondering because I don't want to, Now,
you trying to kick me out, man.
Hang out as long as you want.
You want to do that? Talk to him about that.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. LeBron, 100 games this season to carry the Cavs to the final. Is this a strength as a leader or weakness to figure out ways to position his teammates for success? Is he taking too much on himself, or should he be trusting the guys more?
It'd be nice if we had a combination of both. But you know what? I like what Anthony had touched on before in terms of like historically, in terms of like game one, like he doesn't necessarily like ball out.
Yeah.
And Kevin, we can go to the graphic in terms of like how he is in terms of like game
Roll
one versus game two versus game seven. Like game one, he averages in the NBA Finals 25.8 points per game, 45% from the field. But games 2 through 7, that's when he starts balling out. Over 28 points a game, 47% from the field. And here's another thing. He's only won game one in terms of in the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is game 2, especially like on the road, that's when he normally starts to win. Remember a couple of years ago, like Golden State Warriors Part 1, he won Game 2. There was no Kyrie. Kyrie just got hurt in Game 1.
Yeah.
The second time they played the Spurs, when the Spurs won, he won that on the road in terms of Game 2. Oklahoma City, he won Game 2 on the road. So I don't know if it's more or less like a filling out process. Even like Boston, Game 1, he got blew out.
Yeah.
Indiana got blew out first round. What is it? Do you think it's more or less like a savant to where he just like, let me just go ahead and just see how they're going to play me, and then he just does his thing?
I think he definitely that's calculated. Like it's like a fill-out game, that game one. Then he comes out game 2, understands. It's a lot of he's seen every defense. They double team, one-on-one, run and trap him. He's seen everything. So, it's kind of a fill-out game just to get the energy and get the feel for who's guarding him, how he's going to guard him, and he kind of just goes from there. I think it's smart. He's one of the highest basketball IQs I've ever seen, so it's definitely that.
What you just said in there is, and talking about the different coverages he sees.
Yeah.
And if people was following me Twitter-wise during the conference finals, I was getting frustrated a little bit with Golden State, saying that I realized they switch everything, and that's who they are. But if every now and then with Harden you would hedge it or trap it or just do something different every now and then to slow him down a step, how important is that when you're dealing with those kind of one-on-one isolation type scorers or playmakers like a James or now LeBron? I meant James Harden and now LeBron James, in terms of the way you cover them, changing it up to at least slow them down and make them try to figure out how you're covering them on a particular possession.
It's different for different guys, obviously, like you said. Like James doesn't get the same calls.
Right.
So them switching those screens, it's easier to switch and put Draymond or KD on them and just funnel them to the basket, nudge them. They won't call it. He missed. Now we're in transition. With LeBron, he can take that nudge and dunk on 2 or 3 people.
Right.
So it's different.
Right.
So, it's and Steve Kerr, and they got high IQ guys. You can really, for them, offensively, you're looking to try to get Steph in pick and rolls.
Right.
When they put the kid Kevon Looney in the game, get him to switch off on screens against your quicker guys. But for LeBron, it's just him being, just being knowledgeable and being observant to everything, because it's not just how they guarding him. He's looking at how everybody else is getting guarded.
Right.
So he knows when somebody's guarding Kyle Korver that's not as fast as him off screens, we got to run something for Kyle.
Right.
And that's the brilliance of his game, that he can actually coach everybody on the floor. So,
how many points does LeBron James need to score either each game or average for the series? And do you think for them to win? And I know there's a lot of respect from both teams.
Yeah.
Is Draymond Green going to check him, or are they going to break out Zaza a cheap shot and try to pull some kind of shenanigans like they pulled on Kawhi Leonard last year?
I don't think Zaza wants to do that anymore. he already has a bullseye on his back. They know what Zaza's up to sometimes. But I think I think Bron has the average, in my opinion, 45, 46.
There you go.
Are you joking?
I agree. No, I agree.
He can do that.
I
agree. Easy.
Where's the
it ain't
points
easy
coming from?
but he can do that.
Anywhere he wants them to come from, LeBron.
I meant if
nobody's done that.
If not LeBron,
Not even
where are the
Jordan.
points coming from?
He got to do. It's got to be something different for him to beat them. And if he beats them, I'm really going to have to really think that he's better than Mike.
Okay,
I mean,
my next question was,
legacy-wise.
what is it going to take?
I agree.
And that's
if
hard
he
for me to
leads
say
them
that,
over the
'cause I'm
Golden State Warriors,
from here.
defending champs. If he goes all out, wins the series, maybe he averages 45 points a game.
Yeah.
Is he the greatest of all time? You just said,
In
you're
my
gonna
opinion,
think about it.
that's going to be that, along with that block he had against Andre Iguodala for them to beat Golden State
That
on
block
the road,
was sick.
down 3-1. That moved him closer to Mike than anybody, in my opinion.
That block?
The block, them winning on the road,
Right.
Him
Coming
winning,
back from 3-1,
coming back
never
from
been done
3-1.
before.
Yeah, so
Right.
yeah, I mean, I think if he wins this series against the Warriors, he could definitely be easily considered the
I
best.
agree with you, and Reg, I would love to get your thoughts as well. And I think that not
I'm one
enough
of
is
those
talked
compare
about.
era guys. I get
Not enough is talked about in terms of by him going to 8 straight finals. I mean, just how incredible that is, and I would love to go to the graphic in terms of just to put it in like the totality. Like, here are a couple of things. Like, the last time LeBron James was not in the finals was in 2010. So that was Lakers Celtics Part 2 when Kobe won his 5th championship. So since the last time LeBron James was not in the NBA Finals, the Cavs starting center was Shaquille O'Neal.
Who?
Yep.
Was Shaq.
That's crazy.
That's the last time.
I've heard of him.
because that's when he was the big Shaq-quisition.
I got 2 more.
Yeah.
You go to the graph. The last time LeBron James was not in the NBA Finals, there have been 19 Marvel movies. There were only 3 made then. Here's the best one. Since the last time LeBron James was not in the NBA Finals, 75% of the NBA players right now were either in college, high school, or middle school.
That's unbelievable.
Those are facts.
That also
Over
tells you how
70%.
young the league is.
I know. Tell me about it.
Telling you.
Tell me about it. Yeah.
And that was before JT got married, because now he has other things to worry about than figuring out these kind of stats.
And JT, you asked me about the LeBron Jordan thing.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
gonna just say it like this.
That's why you were
I'm one
single
of
all
those
them
era
years.
guys,
Hey.
so I'm not gonna get into comparing eras.
Okay.
But I will say this: if we want to know, really, from a guy that had to deal with both of them, ask Kobe. Kobe came in the league in '96, so he saw Jordan at the height at the end of the Bulls.
Prime.
And he left the league a few years ago when he saw LeBron at his height.
He has a losing record against Bron.
Ask Kobe who he think is better.
He'll say himself.
And that's fine. But my point is,
But MJ is his idol.
No, but my point in saying that is, we all ask this question, but the person that has the most information is somebody that dealt with both of them at their height.
Well,
And
so
that's
is Tim
Kobe.
Duncan.
Tim Duncan is another, but he didn't guard him.
I don't think that. I don't
Greatest
think
power
only guy
forward
that
ever.
would have had
I
a
don't
chance
think
to guard him was
Kobe
Kobe.
I don't think Kobe guarded Bron.
Well, they had.
He couldn't.
I just know he had losing. I know he had a losing record against
Well,
LeBron.
a whole lot of people got a losing record against LeBron.
KD too. For
And
now.
Jordan.
Yes.
I mean, people got losing records against him.
Not Tim
A
Duncan.
lot of people.
I know we're doing some more. I know we're doing some more finals talk, right? Because I know Freer over there itching.
Well,
My man
we'll get Mountaineer
Mike.
Mike in here in a minute, but hey, tell me about Kobe Bryant. You played with him, you and I agree. If you ask him who's better between those two, he said, "Well, what about me? I bet I'm better than both those guys."
He definitely would bring
That story
himself.
about Kobe.
He would definitely bring himself into that conversation,
And he should.
before he answered the question. But I saw Kobe tell somebody that was the list was Mike, him, and then Wilt. And this is with LeBron and everybody in the league. He was, that's how he is. That's just how
You
he
heard
wired.
Kobe say this.
Yeah, it's on. He was playing in the Drew League. This was a while ago. I think it was lockout season. And somebody asked him, and they put the camera on him. You could read his lips. But Kobe's just wired differently, man. Like he the closest thing we're gonna see in terms of like approach to the game and tenacity and just.
But he owns a team in the Italian league. He grew up. His dad played in the league. He had his dad had as a former player, came up with some money, went to a good school, played in the league, has good management people around him, has invested wisely. He's a guy that you could see being a president of basketball operations and maybe a part of an ownership group down the
Kobe?
line. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. The problem is guys that's that competitive,
Right.
it's hard for them to run teams.
Exactly.
They
Look at Michael Jordan.
Yeah, it's hard because it's like I'm Mike, and it's like I'm Kobe.
And why don't guys develop, or why don't guys have the work ethic? Why don't guys approach it like I did? You can't.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
Why can't
It's
you
a little
swindle
bit.
Scottie Pippen and run
I'm
the
not
ball
saying. I'm
on
not saying he couldn't
Jumbotron
do
every
it,
night.
but I think it'll be something that he's so competitive that.
Rumors are that Jordan would still get on the shorts and go down and practice and school some of the guys.
He definitely would.
Number one, because he could.
He was,
He's still in good enough shape.
I don't know about now. He might be, but I wouldn't talk trash to him now.
Yeah.
No.
I still wouldn't talk trash to him.
Chasing around them little twins, but that don't mean he can't move no more.
True.
Breaking out a poker game in the back of the plane. Yeah, I hear you. That's competitive right there. All right, we're coming back with more talking about sports. We're here at the Dilworth Neighborhood Grill.
Well, the biggest one today was making sure we had some retention. See the guys come back out there and pick it right back up where they left off. I thought last Thursday was a really good practice, and then seeing the guys come back today and pick it up from the beginning, I was real pleased with that. And then today, obviously we did some situational football. Guys were aware of it, good communications out there. So really, for the most part, that's what we were looking for. Tomorrow will be an interesting day because, again, we'll continue with the situational football and see how guys are playing those. And there's some similarities to what we did and what we're doing now. But the little nuances is probably the biggest thing that, Coach Turner may expect a little bit more of a stem on a certain route or something like that, or a guy to take a little bit deeper and then make a cut. Those types of things is probably the biggest thing. It's just getting used to those little changes.
Now that's good to know. JT, I bet Anthony Morrow played with my guy, former Spur, Steven Jackson. Now, who else? You said, what was it like? He was in the years he played with the Warriors.
Yes. And then the thing about it's kind of like a segue regarding Steph. But before that, I got to give you props on something before we talk about Steph. You came out in 2008, and of course you went undrafted. However, you played in the NBA for so many years. You kind of remind me of the definition of grit, because in that 2008 draft, there were two guys that Golden State drafted. Anthony Randolph went to LSU.
Yep.
Richard Hendricks that went to Alabama. You ended up having
a longer.
You end up having a longer NBA career than they did.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious to know, I guess you're a perfect example to where people may tell you no, but yet you still have the perseverance and grit to still go ahead and do your thing.
Yeah, I mean, it was a blessing. It is a blessing. But, coming in, I felt like I didn't have anything to lose. And I lived in the gym. That's my first year. I was with Steven Jackson. And
my man.
I remember Stack Jack saw me in the gym before training camp, and he was seeing me every night because he was, the vets get back a little later. Mm-hmm. And he was like, I see you looking good, working out. You heard good things about me and all that through one of our player development guys, Rico Hines. Shout out to Rico.
Rico.
And,
what's Jack
Rico.
like? Yeah. What's Jack like, man? He looks like a great guy.
Great, man. I mean, I learned he probably was the most influential person and mentor to this day in my life. He was always positive. He always had, it was tough love. But he respected me and I respected him. And I learned how smart he was as a basketball player and as a person. I don't think he gets enough credit. I think now I'm glad to see him on TV because people get to see how smart he really is, how high his basketball IQ is, and
he's double dipping too. I see him on Fox, I see him on ESPN as well. And as a segue to that, before Reg says what he has to say is that you came in it's always Reg always brings the heat. But the thing about it is that you came in 2008.
Yeah.
Steph Curry came in the 2009 draft.
Yeah.
Before I ask you, did you expect for him to be like this? I guess it was a little different. He went to Charlotte Christian.
Yeah.
You went to Charlotte Latin. So you played against him. You knew exactly who he was. But when he came in 2009, what was it like in terms of him being on the team his rookie year?
It was crazy. I mean, like I said, I was like, everything happens for a reason, man. We played against each other in AAU. Our AAU teams was like rivals, and then just like pickup games, and then I ended up going to Latin. He was at Christian, played against each other, and then to see what he did in college was like unbelievable. So for them to draft him when I was in Golden State, it was like, damn. I can't get away from you, boy. Like, what's up, man? It was like, it was crazy seeing him, though, develop. We knew he was going to be something special. He averaged 17 his rookie year. Mm-hmm. And in that system, then Don Nelson embraced him. It was great playing with him, though. He was high IQ, made the right basketball play every time, even back then. So we knew it was going to be something special. Maybe not this, but we knew it was going to be something special.
Did you ever play football growing up?
I played more neighborhood football than organized.
You'd be a good wide receiver. I'm thinking you'd be like Funchess out there.
That's what they used to tell me, but I don't think I could take a hit.
Burst? You're tall.
You'll be surprised. You take enough, you'll be all right.
You'll be all right.
Yeah, after a while,
man.
you start to, you know how to do it. And
Mom really wasn't riding with the football team. She wasn't going. So you got to play AAU, right? Yeah.
You like the Panthers. What are your thoughts on the Panthers? Where they are? You like Cam? Where they're going?
I think our defense is going to be top 5. I love Cam. I love us drafting DJ Moore. I think we got the best receiver in the draft.
It's a strong statement.
For real, I think he is.
Okay.
I had to watch some more film on him. I heard his name, but I had to really watch him. But he's special, man. As long as Luke Kuechly stays healthy, I think defensively we'll be fine. We just I'm glad we got a receiver that can get some separation so that we can move the chains a little bit more than we did last year. So looking forward to Cam having a real great season this year too, man.
Yeah, it's
your favorite time of the year, Reggie. OTAs.
Yeah, man, please listen, man. I'm gonna make 2 points on that. And JT looked at me kind of weird when I said I agree with the DJ Moore thing. The difference, in my opinion, of DJ Moore and most other people's, I did think he was the best receiver in the draft. I did not have any receivers in this draft as first-round picks. Personally, I didn't. I just didn't think any. No, not even Ridley.
I don't think that guy. Yeah, I don't think he is.
But that's just now. Again, I could be wrong. I kind of doubt it.
No. But you never are.
You never know. But then
you tell us every week.
I caught that. But at the end of the day, something I wanted to kind of ask you about, and this is just not only a football thing but a basketball thing too, is right the whole concept of player development. Yeah. You talked about how Steph came in and had 17 as a rookie, and was able
Anthony, best part's coming up right now.
To help the team.
All right.
But that's a guy that, and I always say this, draft a guy that you know what his game is and he needs to get better, as opposed to drafting a guy saying, we need you to add this, add this, add this, add this, add this. That tells me you probably shouldn't have drafted him if he's got to add 5 parts of a 6-tool game. Yeah. That just doesn't make sense to me. Yeah. So that's one of the things that I kind of always harp on. But the OTA's point, look, man, ain't nobody hitting. All the I can tell you because I
gonna try to stay concentrated.
Oh yeah, it's food time, so I'm about to lock in on that. But I have this thing, and we used to talk about this a lot in college and training camp and all that.
What's your name?
JoJo's bringing the food.
Thank you, JoJo.
Call them T-shirt All-Americans.
Okay.
Because it's a whole lot of guys that are All-American players or Pro Bowl players at the NFL level until you put some pads on. As soon as you put those pads on, you tell that corner that's because all of a sudden on the corner blitz before you get pads, he always got a sack.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden when the pads are on and that guard pulls out there and lay him out, you don't see him in the backfield no more. So that's why I don't get caught up in OTAs. There's too many T-shirt All-Americans out there. I want to see him when the pads start popping. That's what he wanted me to get to, them T-shirt All-Americans.
I know you love it. I mean, I'm lobbing the alley-oop up to you, man. Let
T-shirt All-Americans, baby.
Throw it down. T-shirt All-Americans. You're at a camp this weekend, aren't you, Reggie?
Yeah, I'm at a camp this weekend. It's going to be down at Ardrey Kell High School. It's through pro camps. I'll be out there instructing again. This is my 4th year doing it. Love working with the kids out there, man. Just trying to help them get better at their game.
We'll have to get some kind of a report. I think Kevin Tolbert and the ADSN crew is going to be down there. You'll have to anchor our coverage.
Shout out to Tay Taylor Davis. She'll be there.
Okay, well, that's good. Always good to know. What the Panthers going to make the playoffs? Going to win the Super Bowl?
Yeah, every year I say we're going to win.
You friends with some of the guys?
We're going to win the Super Bowl.
That's a true fan right there.
You friends with the guys?
Yeah, Cam. He's cool.
Is he really cool off the field? I see him in the locker room when I cover games. And he's guarded.
Yeah, I mean, he's cool.
Guys.
I mean, we don't hang out like that, but when we got enough rapport over the years. Yeah, to see him. I'm supposed to go to his. I think he got an event this weekend. I'm supposed to go to. I'm gonna pull up at Kawan Short, Thomas Davis.
K1, KK. He's a good guy.
All of guys, man. Good dude. Funchess. A lot of former guys that play. Graham Gano. Cool. Yep. So. Yeah, man. I'm like really. I mean,
You go to
they gave
any
me my own
games?
jersey.
I know you're busy, but you
Yeah,
ever go to-
I go to preseason games when I can. I went to the Super Bowl when we lost to the Broncos.
Okay.
Hear him saying
Okay.
we. He said we.
It's all we. I'm all in.
I'm getting personal requests on my phone. People want to know where you got the 704 hat.
Oh, my guy, Family Matters, man.
Okay. Spin that around so they can see the back of that.
Yeah, Family Matters.
Speaking of local, what about the Hornets? I mean, they got Mitch Kupchak, and have you, as your agents, have y'all reached out to them about maybe getting an invite to camp? Or
We definitely got that on coming up. Definitely, that's on deck. We're gonna check that out.
a buddy of mine, Connor Birchfield from Concord High and William and Mary, had a recent tryout ahead of the draft. So I was hoping, if nothing else, they're going to reach out. Here's a guy in their backyard that's been in the league, got experience.
Yeah.
They maybe you get at least an invite to camp.
Yeah, camp. I'll work out for him. So we'll definitely. I think that's something that we got in the works for sure, though.
All right.
Especially with me being right here.
I know it's the off season. Can you eat all of this, or do you not eat all this?
Man, I haven't eaten beef, pork, and chicken in like 10 months.
Oh, so you just seafood and
What are you
vegetables?
eating? Like we got celery,
Okay,
man.
that's what's up.
I mean,
Man, say he a pescatarian. Shout out to that.
man.
Shout out to that pescatarian lifestyle.
32 now, so I gotta
that
make
means
sure.
more for us.
Oh man, you're still young. What you
I know,
talking
but still, I see some of my homies is 32, and they know they're not looking like me. You play football, though,
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
cool.
That's fair. I did.
Guys
Who's
used
that
to be
guy?
skinny
Oliver
like-
Miller, man, played at Arkansas.
That's a big boy. That's a
400
big boy.
pounds last I heard, man.
Played for the Phoenix
fella,
Suns.
man.
Not lately.
He played like
He's
that.
big as the sun.
Hey, man.
And what do you think of the Hornets' moves? I mean, they got to get rid of what's his name from France? What's his name?
Nick Batum?
Batum. I mean, I think that
Hey man, don't put him on the spot.
Why
He
you
a
gonna
free
put him
agent
on the
right now.
spot?
Don't
I'm
ask him
not,
that.
man. Really? Really?
you're a player. I mean, what
Really?
kind of moves would you like to see, or a different style of play with their new coach from the Spurs? I might add.
Well, I think they made the right moves in, getting Mitch Kupchak in there and Coach Borrego in there. I think those are two great moves for them. In terms of personnel, it's all about the type of system they're gonna have. Coming from the Spurs,
maybe possibly a changing of the system with Borrego's system could use the existing guys. Maybe change the system a little bit.
That'll be tough because this team's predicated on pick and roll with Kemba and everybody pretty much throwing it down low to Dwight. And that's not where James Borrego came from in terms of the Spurs system. It's going to be a lot more.
From being in the league as long as you have, a lot of things happen on draft night. A lot of movement, a lot of wheeling and dealing.
I think something's going to happen with the Hornets on draft day for sure.
What do you think, or what would you do if you're like Mitch asked you what's going on?
I'll be looking for personnel and guys that I can depend on to pass and cut and shoot.
Now you mentioned James Borrego, his system.
Yeah.
What kind of guys would be ideal for his system, or what type of guy? You don't have to mention names, but you're going to trade for those kind of guys. What kind of guys were they?
High IQ guys that can cut, guys that can pass the ball, guys that can shoot the ball, guys that's going to play defense. That's a lot, but I mean, he coming from the Spurs.
Yeah, I'm all for you. I'm all for.
I'm gonna just point. I'm gonna just point and let them know what I think. I'm gonna just point because again, as I mentioned earlier, I think I called. I mean, it's almost like a disrespect. Sometimes it feels like when people say this. I think I called you a two-way player.
You did.
And
I know
sometimes
they calling
people
you.
get shocked.
Are they calling you out on that?
No, they're not crazy. I'm just saying in general, we guys are he's a shooter or he's a this or he's a good defender.
Yeah.
This is a two-way player. That's all I'm saying. I prefer two-way players. That's just me.
I like to call it a basketball player.
Yeah.
Because if you're a winner, you're a winner. If you want to win, you're going to work hard. You're going to put the work in. You're going to play and grind, and that's what you are.
Absolutely.
I never – it's hard. It gets hard the more levels you go up because they want to box you in so many things.
Right.
For it to be easier for them to try to coach you.
Correct.
And I never really liked that. I don't think Brad Stevens does that. And that's why I give Brad Stevens so much, praise that, he's a guy that puts guys in positions to be great. I'm not calling you one kind of player.
Right.
I'm going to put you in a position I feel like you're going to be able to flourish. And that's why I think coaches going in that direction too. In general.
I like it.
All right.
I like it.
All right. Well, that's good. Glad you're here, Anthony Moore. JT, you hanging around? Or
No,
what?
I got to go.
You have final thoughts here before we can put you on record for something?
Well, like I said, I'm pulling for the Cavs, but it doesn't look good. The one thing is that Golden State's firepower. One thing I will say, just to prove a point, Game 6, Splash Brothers outscored Houston in the second half by themselves. Game 7, KD and Steph outscored Houston by themselves.
All right,
doesn't look good.
JT getting that nice new Infinity and go on home to the
Come
new
on,
wife
man.
and enjoy the married life.
I'm going to Coastal Carolina, man. I'm going to
Coastal Carolina. Home
Yeah.
to Chanticleer.
Baseball. I got to work, man. I got to work.
I love college baseball. They got, I think, UConn's down in that bracket.
I'm going right now, man.
Huskies versus Huskies and the Chanticleers.
There you go.
I like Coastal Carolina. All right, we've got more talking about sports. We're here at the Dilworth Neighborhood Grill. All right, we're back at the Dilworth Neighborhood Grill with Mountaineer Mike Freer. And, of course, Anthony Morrow and Reggie Walker. Anthony Morrow, you were a product of the Police Athletic League. We have Jeff Hood over here, who's involved heavily in that nationally. And what are some of your thoughts from growing up in the Police Athletic League?
It was great. It was something that we didn't have to worry about paying for. It was for the community. It was for the kids. And, my mom really enjoyed it. My mom really enjoyed the fact that I could be around kids in my neighborhood and other neighborhoods. Football, basketball, baseball. It was kind of like a staple in our community where I grew up at in West Boulevard, and that's something that I feel like it's kind of overlooked now a little more than it should be, but definitely with guys like Jeff Hood and myself trying to continue to put it out there, I think it'll definitely still be strong and it's always going to be here.
Now you mentioned you're tentatively scheduled to go by the Kicking It with Cam. I know you have a busy schedule with your foundation, but our ADSN team, Kevin Tolbert, Taylor Davis, are going to be out there chasing greatness. Our new segment, we're going to be out there, so bring the whole family out to this celebrity event. If you do go, have you ever been to one of those in the past?
No, I haven't been, and he makes sure he lets my people know. I thought Anthony Morrow is a Carolina Panther fan, right? Where he at? I'm usually in Atlanta with my daughter on this weekend, and I'm actually going this weekend, but I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna try to make sure I make it tomorrow.
Well, I hope Josh Norman will be there, even though he got robbed on that Dancing with the Stars. Did you watch Dancing with the Stars, Mountaineer Mike?
I did not.
My wife watched it, but then again, that's probably why we're going in the directions that we're going in. But so you didn't. Well, you probably liked Adam Rapon. Did you like him? Do you think he should have won?
I didn't see one second of it. You're asking the wrong guy in this case.
By the way, Kyle Busch, thank you very much for winning that Coke 600 like I predicted. I told William Wilson that he got Kurt Busch, but Kurt's over with the Las Vegas Golden Knights, cheering, revving up that little siren gimmick they got.
Good place to be right now.
You got, well, I can't really say talking about giving back and your foundation. We have Jeff Hood over here from the Police Athletic League, Mountaineer Mike. What about your foundation and giving back and the importance of that? You have your daughter down in Atlanta. Yeah. Anthony, what are some things you could tell some of the people who are possibly watching?
Well, the Anthony Morrow Foundation, shout out to Miss Vina Vaughn, everybody that's working with me. We really just been doing a lot of community work, especially in my neighborhoods where I grew up at. We do book bag drives now. We do back to school drives. We're going to be doing a lot more things here soon. But it's really geared towards low-income housing, children, single parents, underprivileged children, homeless families. And we've done a lot of great things in the past. I've partnered with Kmart when it was here, done stuff with the Children's Place, done things, hygiene products, book bag giveaways, and the community's been great. Ponderosa Neighborhood Association was great for me. Southview Recreation Center, where I grew up in Little Rock Apartments, have been great. And we've been getting a lot of support from, local radio stations, news stations. So we're going to continue to try to, just blast that brand out and get more and more people involved in it. But it's something that I always wanted to do since I was a kid, with not really having any, I never had Carolina Panthers or Charlotte Hornets come down into my neighborhood. I know they were doing stuff for the community, but, the fact that I never saw an NBA player or, even some local guys that rap or some artists come down into those neighborhoods, we never saw that when I was growing up. So it means a lot for me to be able to do that.
It's a big deal.
Mike, you have any questions for Anthony Morrow? I've been doing a lot of research over there.
I couldn't totally tell. Did you give a prediction on the finals here? Did you?
Yeah, I said Golden State.
You said Golden State?
He's going out on a limb.
Is Cleveland going to take a game or two?
I think they'll get a game just because LeBron is great. They get two, I'll be surprised, but I think they'll definitely get one game. It won't be a sweep.
I'll be the one.
You did say that Houston wouldn't win another game when it was 3-1, I think.
I also said the Celtics in 7. I mean, I'm hitting on all cylinders.
You did great in college basketball. You were on it.
I had been told before that series, I said Celtics in 6. I did say that.
No, I said
not gonna lie.
Celtics in 7.
But I said if LeBron gets to Game 7, forget about it.
I think I was the only one that said you guys have forgotten about this guy named LeBron James, and he's going to rise up. You did say if it got to a 7, Reggie, he'd win. I said all along Cleveland was going to come out of the East and Golden State was going to win the West. I did
never
say
forgot
that.
about LeBron James. Nobody forgets about LeBron.
We do something, Anthony. We do a final thought. You can talk about anything you want that you want people to talk about. It could be your foundation. It could be the finals. It could be the Panthers, the NHL, racing, whatever you like. You got anything to add to anybody?
Just thanks, guys, for having me on here. Like I said earlier, got the Anthony Morrow Foundation. You can check that out online. My clothing line, Own Sense of Style, coming out. Still praying, still grinding, still working. Proud to be from Charlotte. Shout out to my Panthers. Still a Hornets fan, even though I haven't rooted for them in years. Still a Hornets fan with me
Shout out to your daughter
from
too,
here.
man.
Oh yeah, my daughter. Shout out to all my kids. My daughter Anaya Morrow, my 5-year-old son Caden Morrow, my twin boys Malachi and Amiri Morrow, and shout out to Suge and Aurora and my mom and my dad and all my family, all my friends, everybody.
Right
Thank
on.
you.
That's what's up.
We made it another hour of the show. Reg, what do you got down there?
I'm going to keep it quick. First of all, thanks, Anthony, for coming out. Man.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it. I know your schedule's crazy busy, so appreciate your time. Y'all know what I do. I always go kind of to my wheelhouse.
Get your Twitter handle out there, Reggie, so everybody can follow you.
RWalk13, RWALK13. I'm going right back to boxing. It sounds like Deontay Wilder, he's throwing out some dates and locations now for the fight with Anthony Joshua.
There's a big date in November that's available.
Probably going to be in Europe, but Eddie Hearn's got $1 billion+ worth of streaming money
talks
that he can throw at these guys. Money talks. You know what else walks. So I look forward to hopefully seeing that fight come up later on this year. And also Jared Swift Hurd, 154-pound champ. He's now starting to talk about he wants to either fight Kell Brook or one of the Charlo, and then go up to 160 and fight the other Charlo. So this could be a really, really good stretch for boxing. I hope it comes to fruition.
Now, Reggie, before you go, Mike, did you see President Trump pardoned Jack Johnson? Who was it?
What's that?
President Trump pardoned
Jack Johnson.
Jack Johnson. You notice who was there with the belts? He had Deontay Wilder there, not Anthony Joshua, and Lennox Lewis there.
Well, you know how that goes. You can't get those two guys in the same room right now.
Yeah, they're going to fight.
Yeah, Errol Spence Jr. is a monster. Personally, to me, I think he's the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world right now. Nobody's giving him that credit. We're going to see him fight at home in Texas, I believe, in about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I think that fight is June 16th. Keep your eyes out for that because Errol Spence is a problem.
All right, Mountaineer Mike.
Just some quick news. Shout out to Steve Clifford getting the job at Orlando Magic.
Yeah, you're a big Cliff guy.
I am a big Cliff guy. I
thought of you when I first saw that news.
I think he should. I want to say he got a raw deal at the end in Charlotte, but change is necessary, and that's fine sometimes. But I think the Magic are a young team. They had health issues all year, but their 3 best players, none of them played 60 games. They're all under 30. Yeah. You want to see a team that makes an improvement, it'll be the Magic next year if they're all healthy.
Who's their GM, and can Cliff work with the new GM? Former GM was not good.
Now I can't remember now.
Well, the GM is who hired him, so they'll be all right.
So they're going to work. They can only go up. They're only going up. They either sign Anthony Morrow or the hopefully the Spurs or the Hornets do.
One more thing, I got my pro-am coming back to Charlotte. The Anthony Morrow Pro-Am this summer, Summer League basketball. It's at the Stratford YMCA. Starts June 22nd, goes all the way until mid-August. So get a team, come in, have fun, bring the kids. We got clinics for kids as well. Shout out to Coach Brett Badgett and my manager Vina Vaughn again as well, and everybody involved. So everybody come out, man. Bring your game.
Well,
we want people
coach a team.
All right, we want people to just come out there.
Anthony, we want people to show up for your event. Maybe ADSN, we can come out there and film this and stream this.
I would love that.
There you go. There's the invitation, Kevin Tolbert. So get to work on that.
Need bench warmers? Because I can keep a bench from hitting the ceiling.
Any way you want to be there. Come on.
I'll be the head coach of one of the teams out there. Since I'm a Spur fan, that means that qualifies me as a smart basketball fan.
That doesn't mean you from Coach.
It does mean I'm smart about who I root for.
Bruising people.
All right, guys. Congrats to Kyle Busch for winning the Coke 600. Kurt Busch for revving the siren at the Golden Knights Capitals game. That series, Reggie, you have a friend a colleague used to run.
Yeah,
the
my
Knights?
man Jim Dittman. He's the technical director out there for the Vegas Golden Knights. They put on quite a show pregame out there, and I got to say this, man. I'm rooting for the Golden Knights. But shout out to my man Braden Holtby. He was standing on his head last night in the crease.
Unbelievable.
Anytime you got a goalie, listen. Hockey is about momentum,
and Fleury's a good goalie for
and they
Vegas.
got momentum and a hot goalie right now. Look out. The Caps might be able to do something at home these next couple of games.
Well, it's tied 1-1, so anything can happen now. They have the two best goalies in the league, and Alex Ovechkin, I think, maybe the best player on the ice that's not a goalie. So I'm really looking forward to it. 1-1, the Stanley Cup Final. It's just on. Great pregame show. Vegas has set the bar for pregame shows, and I think every team moving forward, even in the minor leagues, everyone's got to up their game to try to keep up with Vegas. But even they, at the Stanley Cup Final level, I saw Wayne Newton out there riding in the car with the cup. We saw Kurt Busch in the crowd. We saw a whole bunch of the who's that group? You probably like them. Who's that group that plays the music?
Imagine Dragons.
The Magic Dragons or what?
Imagine Dragons.
There you go. So we got lots of stuff going on with hockey. So I'm really excited. Can't wait for that this weekend. Reds baseball out at San Diego. So you tell I have no life. All right, for Kevin Tolbert, Jeff Hood here from the Police Athletic League, Reggie Walker, Anthony Morrow from the Anthony Morrow Foundation, Mountaineer Mike Freer. I'm Kevin Casey. This has been Talking About Sports from the Dilworth Neighborhood Grill.
Shout out to Anthony Morrow.
Thank y'all, man. Shout out to y'all, too. Thank you so much. Thank you.